It's back. Today, progressives will reintroduce the Green New Deal. And now that Democrats are in control, do these massive green spending projects actually get passed? Here to react is president of the Copenhagen Consensus and author of False Alarm, Bjorn Lomborg. Bjorn, thanks so much for being here. So talk to me. What is being proposed today, and is it the right approach? Is it larger than Democrats have proposed in the past, or similar?
So, look, it's very similar. And first of all, look, global warming is a real problem. But the way many of the Democrats and typically around the world really tries to fix climate change is just throwing lots of money at it and not actually achieving very much. Not surprisingly, not a very good idea. If you actually want to fix climate change, this is going to cost many trillions every year. And of course, people are not actually going to live up to that. They're not going to vote for those kinds of guys. And it won't solve the problem. Even John Kerry is telling us if the U.S. went alone, it will cut, if it cut all of its carbon emissions tomorrow and the rest of the century, be a terrible outcome for the U.S. It would still only reduce temperatures by the end of the century by 0.3 degrees Fahrenheit. We need a smarter approach.
What is that smarter approach as opposed to massive government intervention, which is what the Democrats are proposing here?
Well, the fundamental problem is as long as renewable energy or green energy in general is more expensive than fossil fuels, you have to ask everyone to do with less. You have to ask them to pay more for their energy. That might work with rich, well-meaning Americans, but of course it's not going to work for the Chinese, the Indians, the Africans. And so really we need to invest a lot more in research and development into green energy to innovate the price of new green energy down below fossil fuel. Once that's happened, everyone will switch, not just rich, well-meaning Americans, but also the Chinese, the Indians, and the Africans.
Bjorn, real quick, one additional idea they're proposing from Senator Markey is the idea of a civilian climate corps. Here's what he said about it. He said, to combat the interlocking crises of the moment, climate change, racial injustice, a global pandemic, and income inequality, our government has an opportunity to modernize a great idea from the past and tailor it to meet the present and the future. He wants to create hundreds of thousands of government-paid jobs for a civilian climate corps. What do you think about that?
Well, it's very unlikely that that's going to work. It's not like a lot of people are not already worried about climate change and are trying to do something, but when you actually look at their actions, they're not achieving very much. And that's simply because it's really hard to live without good, reliable, and cheap energy. This is not the way forward to force people. The way forward is innovation, as it's always been.
The way forward is innovation. You're absolutely right. Find a way to create something that people want for less cost. It makes everybody's lives better. And that's what we've done so far, thankfully, to lower emissions. Maybe not enough, but to a certain degree. Bjorn Lomborg, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Pete, great. Thanks.